I'm Cassidy Ford, and this is the Franchise Ticker Podcast. It's a home for people, whether you are in the franchise community or not, to live freely in that place where our personal and professional worlds intersect. Welcome to the conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Franchise Ticker Podcast. I am having a chat today with Trevor Rappleye of FranchiseFilming. And for those of you who are new to FranchiseFilming, they are rock stars. They have really entered the marketplace and brought something new to franchising, fresh ideas of something that is really impacting a lot of franchise brands, brokers, suppliers, in that they are utilizing monthly videos to highlight these brands and show what stars they are in the industry. So I'm really excited. Trevor, thanks so much for joining today.
Yes, thank you for having me on, and your podcast is going great. It looks amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Fun facts about Trevor. He is a triplet, one of three. He has been filming since he was 13. And also, this one I wouldn't have guessed. Trevor, you are a Division I NCAA soccer referee.
Yes, I don't really sleep a lot, so yes, I am. I'm all those things. My mom, thank you for having three at one time, and then two more kids. I can't even imagine. And yeah, I love to referee soccer and film for brands. It's one of my favorite things.
Well, we're going to definitely talk about the latter of those two things. One of the main pillars, or one of the 5 pillars of the Franchise Ticker Initiative, the intention behind wanting to launch this podcast and do what I'm doing, is this idea of bringing new people and new ideas, fresh concepts into the world of franchising. And last week, if you guys missed the last episode of the podcast, we had Nicole Daher on, who is with Success on the Spectrum, and she definitely had a lot of great anecdotes to give to or of her story of being a new franchisor, and then talking to anybody out there who's a small business owner who's thinking about becoming a franchisor and entering this space. And today I want to focus on the ideas. So those fresh ideas and being able to provide something in the market that is helping to make the community better by helping brands succeed in a way that they did not know or could not do before. So I am really looking forward to not just hearing your story, because today's all about storytelling, right?
Amen.
But hearing your story, Trevor, and hearing how you are taking the art of storytelling by video and putting that to use to help people throughout franchising. So before we dive into your story, can you just tell us a little bit more about FranchiseFilming and what you guys do?
Yeah, thank you once again. FranchiseFilming is something that if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would be in the franchise space, I would have asked you, what is the franchise space? Like, I just don't even know what that is. Like, aren't they all the same? Like, they're all businesses. But FranchiseFilming, the need that we're solving is nobody tells authentic stories anymore. It's stock footage. It's the 2D animation videos that cost $99 that for some reason people think they're good and they just don't hit home. Like, what we do is we film the authentic, real success of your franchisee, of someone that has used your service, and we craft that into an emotional story about why other people should become franchisees, why they should work with you again. It's the emotional reason why people buy. I saw a quote last week, and it was Harvard says 95% of people buy based on what they feel, not on logic. And people listening, if you really look at your videos, are they emotional or are they logic? And I can guarantee you they don't have emotion in them. So yeah, we love it.
You and I have had similar paths in life, I think, to where we eventually, maybe a progressive sense of enlightenment about um, the fact that we can't be authentic in our messaging and getting our message and our story out there if we are not being authentic ourselves. And for me, that was through my struggle with Tourette syndrome. But your story kind of came about in a different way, didn't it?
Mhm. It's really funny if you, and I rarely talk about this, and I really should, because it really does make me who I am. Like, if you were to ask me, I'm 31 now. When I was 15, 13, I stuttered really bad. Like, I couldn't read out loud. I got made fun of. Teachers would let me go to the restroom, when it was my time to read out loud because they knew I didn't want to read out loud. Like, it was just, kids are mean. Kids are mean, right?
Mm.
And that's what I thought life was. And then I realized, what could I do in my control to get better? Because it's nothing I can do. Just my vocal cords get stuck. It's like and it kind of comes out now. But so I started to read out loud every single day, pages and pages and pages. And fast forward 15 years, sometimes people mention that they can't even tell. So the story of that is just, I used to try and hide that I have that. And more importantly, I used to hide the fact that I came out at 24. I used to hide that. I used to try and be this corporate robot, like and then I realized, wait a second, people don't know me. Like, more importantly, my team doesn't know me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a powerful thing when you just are who you are, because you become human, you become authentic. Your team realizes they can be human and be authentic. The people you film for, the people you work with, realize that they can tell you about their weekend or what they did last month. You just, being authentic makes you friendly, and that's how you become a better leader, and that's how you close more sales, because if people like you, you're going to close sales faster.
Right. All right. So walk me through. You started filming at the age of 13, and you're progressively coming to terms with this stutter that you are experiencing. You are falling in love with filming at the same time. Walk me through that those years where you got into filming, college, and then how you were coming to terms with your identity.
Yeah, I love that. That is something I love to share, that in college, in high school, I really, it's that classic thing that our mom and dad say, right? Eventually people will be working for the nerdy kids, right? It's that one saying that's like, eventually the nerds, you'll work for the nerds. And back then you didn't realize what that meant. But then you realized, so what I did in high school and college, I have been filming weddings since I was 13. I had DVDs to remember.net at 13. I was converting VHS to DVD, and I was making like $11 a disc. I bought discs for like, 10 cents, and I was making like $80. Like, that was a lot of money back then. That was a
Yeah.
Game Boy, right?
Yeah.
And then right? And it was also like a pride thing. Like, my parents didn't want to buy me everything, yet I wanted all the tech stuff. And my dad's like, well, I'm not going to buy you tech stuff. You got to figure it out. And that made me fall in love with just the hustle. I remember a really good sales lesson I learned was I went to FedEx, printed 1,000 flyers that had my DVD list on it, right? Like how much, and I thought my phone would ring off the hook. I got like one sale for like $20. And it was really tough. And my dad is like, this is such a good life lesson. You can't see it now, but this is, you thought you would do a lot and you didn't. And coming from that, then at 15, I bought eventfilming.net. How the word event filming wasn't taken. Yes, the eventfilming.com was taken and still is. So we could never be .com. And I was filming weddings. I was filming family weddings, church events. And I just fell in love with filming, but I also fell in love with the perception that people thought I was bigger than what I was. So it wasn't just me, it was event filming team. We had a phone number. And so I've been in love with film since 15, and really finding my identity was, I was just that guy that hustled. I never dated because I came out at 24. So I was just the guy that worked all the time and reffed soccer. And looking back, I do think I missed out on a lot of memories, but I think that's why we are. That's why we are where we are today, because of the work I did 10 years ago, right? And really to kind of wrap on this, my identity, I've never had another job ever. I was like a bag boy for like 3 months at like Rayleigh's, and that's it. So I had to craft my own identity as a leader, salesperson. I'm completely taught in sales, marketing, like everything. So I'm very authentic in my sales, in my leadership. And I think that's a testament to kind of where we are, and why I have such an awesome team is because I'm authentic, which means they can be authentic. We're friends, and I just don't hide who I am.
Right. All right. Yeah. I want to come back to one thing that you said, is that you loved this idea of being, or coming off and appearing to be bigger than you were. So that's a brilliant strategy that I want to come back to that. My question for you now is when you have embraced this, like a way to be authentic and be able to tell stories, how did that start to impact the practical ways that you are doing business?
These are good questions. I like these. Honestly, one of our core values is being memorable. If you do a Google search for how many videographers there are in the US, I think there's 57,000. So why the heck should somebody pay us? And we're kind of expensive. Why should somebody pay us? And it was this thing that we expoed for the first time at IFA 2020. Seems like years. I mean, it seems like 5 years ago, but back during all this pre-COVID. And I told my team, if you're going to come network and go to the show, you're going to be memorable. We're going to have dance parties. We had a prize wheel that people spun, and one was like a free hug. One was a dance party. One was a shot at the bar. People got more excited for the free hug than the actual shot at than like the shot at the bar or the free USB drive that we had. There was a really funny moment where 3 men walked over, and I knew they would not like it if we did the free hug, and it spun on it, and they were like, "Are you guys gonna hug me?" I'm like, I mean, you kind of spun the prize wheel, so you kind of are legally obligated to. So they hugged our entire team, and now on my sales follow-up, I have a note in there. Didn't want hug, we hugged him. So now it's like this, it's this memorable. So yeah, I think salespeople and people forget that the minute you're off the phone, like, you're forgotten. Like, nobody goes to bed thinking, I need to get back to Trevor about that video. I may want to pay him for. Like that doesn't happen. So what can we do as salespeople and as businesses to be so memorable and so friendly that when it comes time to actually talk about pricing, they don't even want to look anywhere else because you're just so fun and you're so memorable and it's the experience. So I would say, and hopefully I'm answering this right, but my lack of corporate experience, I really believe has allowed us to scale because we're not doing other things that people are doing. Like we're
Right.
just not doing them.
Now you started out, and I'm going to backtrack here because you started out on just corporate filming side, corporate filming for large, companies that we would all know and recognize. And first, if you could tell me a little bit about how that got started, and then the transition, and you're still doing that, but how you kind of decided to show up at that first IFA conference, because you told me basically you saw an opportunity there for something that wasn't being done before. And this is the crux of kind of what I want to talk about a little bit today about how you're doing something new in franchising.
Yeah. So corporatefilming.com. We used to be .net, then I paid off .com, so now we're .com finally about a year ago. That was actually quite expensive, but I told myself I can't be .net right now. .com sounds better. So we still have that launching. It's going when we film for Google, Home Depot. Like it's very active, right? But I think the obstacle with corporate filming is we're not niched, or it's not niche. Yes, we have a different service. Like no one in the market offers a VIP subscription model where we don't charge travel fees and we can get the videos done in just 5 days. No one has that. I've looked. So we are scaling in that realm, right? But with franchise filming, 4 years ago, Go Minis reached out to us, franchise. And the old CEO was like, hey, I want this video. And I told him our amounts back then, and he was just like, there's no way this is ever going to work. It's just too much. But the thing I want to tell salespeople is a no is just a no now. So I followed up with this guy every 3 months. We made a video for him. I didn't even know what franchisees was. I thought he kept having like a typo. I thought he kept meaning to say franchises. And I just didn't know 5 years ago. And he goes, Trevor, you need to go to IFA. Like everybody has crappy videos. No one has videos. And then I'm like, let's take a risk. So in 2019 or 18, I think we walked the floor and I counted how many booths didn't have video. It was over probably 80%. And I said, there's a market here. Do I want to go into it? Franchise filming, fast forward 3 years, we work with Neighborly, Fast Signs, ADP, Batteries Plus, and it's because we have trained our team and we have niched. I always get the word niche down. Niche.
I don't know. We're gonna go with niched. I don't know.
Niche. That's that. Niche down. So that's what made us different. Is they could reach out to a local shooter on Yelp, but he's going to be Bob that works out of his house, and he's not going to have the same service. But if you want a film team that knows the difference between franchisees and franchises, then and what to focus on, that's us. So I really think, and hopefully I'm answering this right, we just niched down, and I listened to the 3 pain points that every franchisor had, and the pain points were, my franchisees are everywhere, but I don't want to travel and pay for a film team. My video takes 3 months to get done, sometimes 9 months, and there's no emotion in our films. So that's the 3 pain points that we solve, and I think that's why we've scaled, because we listen to what our ideal prospects actually want and what they need.
Why does video make a difference? Like, how does that change the game at all? Like, why should somebody care? Because that we have a tendency to sit here and look, and I think in franchising too, I don't want to keep repeating. We say this all the time, but franchising is a little bit behind, right? So
They are, we are, yes, yes.
um
Franchises, yes, they are. Let's not
so,
lie to them.
so it
Yeah.
seems like it seems pretty logical to me outside of, like, I mean, TikTok, YouTube, you've got Instagram reels, you've got these
Mhm.
short little, I think even to add to that, I saw the other day, actually, I asked Alexa, because I had a debate with a friend over how long the average attention span was of a human being. And Alexa told me it's 8 seconds.
Yep.
So
Yep.
why are videos a thing, and why was franchising not doing it, and how have you been able to kind of usher that in?
So I think it's always tough if a franchise is making a ton of money, why would they change what they're
Right.
doing? And the power, I get so passionate about this, especially with COVID. I know that's fading away now, but video, why should someone care about what you're trying to sell? Video is such a powerful way to grab them in literally within 7 seconds. I think if you can grab someone in the first 3 seconds, they will watch the video more, right? What video does, especially for franchisors trying to sell and close more franchisees, there's a lack of trust out there, right? With all the banks, I think I don't want to say the bank, but the bank that opened up like 1 million accounts fraud, like, and did fraud, like no one, your prospect has no reason to trust what you're saying. So what video does is it allows a successful franchisee, a successful consumer that's actually worked with you to say, hey, my life got better because I went with Fast Science. My life got better because I joined the IFA. But more importantly, being able to show that. So when a franchisee says, my life got better, we have a question we love to ask on site, especially to moms and dads. So how does it feel that you get to see your kids more? How does it feel that you can now be home in time for their soccer game? And then going to their soccer game, filming a family game night. What person that hates their corporate job doesn't want that? So video is such a powerful way to visually show someone how their life can get better. And it's just so powerful. And a quick stat as well. 90% of text is forgotten. So that white paper, that one pager from the 90s that you think is still working, that's 32 pages. It's not working.
Yes.
Right? You need to hook people in, and you can't tell a story on paper. It's just not possible.
Right. When you walked the floor at IFA and you saw that 80% of people were not using video, of the 20%, were they using it well?
I remember this like it was yesterday. I literally went to a booth where they spent maybe $20,000 to have a 20 by 20 between payroll, hotel, flights, food, bar tabs. Easily that's a $90,000 trip, let's say, right? And I could tell on their video screen, they literally searched happy family field or diversity around corporate table. And it's like, they paid $1 for the footage. And it's like, that doesn't work. So
Right.
I saw maybe 5% of people actually had an interview with emotional success over and over. So now when a lead walks by, the sales guy can stop talking and shut up, which I know is really hard for salespeople, me too. And you just say, hold on, let me actually turn this volume up. There you go. And it's somebody else raving about them. No one cares what me and you think about what we do. They care about what other people think about us.
what happens when, because it's going to happen. You've been a kind of a vanguard in doing this more and more, and I'm sure that on a small scale like this is happening, people are starting to recognize, especially during COVID, the not just video but technology in general, of how what an important role that plays in marketing and sales. But what do you see the landscape looking like as more and more people start to use video in their brand dev?
Well, if people listening and watching, if you Google HubSpot video marketing tips or stats, there's so many. And one I really want to mention is 52% of B2B buyers say that video helps them make a choice of what to buy from, A.
Mm-hmm.
And B, a video on your landing page gets you 79% more leads, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But to really answer your question, the people that start video, because I see it, they say, hey, I'll just do it internal. I don't have the budget right now, which is totally fair. What I see with them making videos, it's a 5-minute interview against a wall with no B-roll. And B-roll is, if people listening don't know, B-roll is the footage over what someone's saying. So you always, no matter how attractive someone is, you always want to show other footage. Like you don't want to get bored showing the same person. So what I've been seeing is they're still doing video wrong. The length is 5 minutes. The length should really be 90 seconds, 60 seconds. Like the goal isn't to say I made a video. The goal is to say this 60-second video brought me in 25 more leads, which closed 100,000 more in sales. That's what really matters. So the mistakes I see people making is they're just doing a soundbite. There's no emotion and it's a script and it sounds like this. And I love this company and it doesn't work. So I know you didn't really ask me this, but my tips I really want to tell people
No,
are
this is great. Yeah.
Okay, good. My tips are stop trying to script it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you think is important actually isn't what's truly happening. And it's not really what your leads want to see. If your ideal franchisee is talking about something, it means it affected them buying it. It means it's important to them. So my tips are A, when you do talk to someone on film, ask questions. Ask questions, A. B, keep the interview to 10 minutes long. It should not be this hour thing. C, in your final edit, you got to have an emotional hook, that thing that you mentioned, right? You have 7 seconds, 8 seconds to hook someone. So don't use the first 3 seconds showing your logo. Use the first 3 seconds saying, hi, my name is Bob and I love Fast Time because I get to see my kids more.
Right.
Close it out, go to a logo. So that's what I see. I wish more people would do this. Shorter is better, is my whole point I'm going to say.
You're giving me ideas about my own videos, just like sitting here listening to you. So, anecdote just about the reason why you don't use scripts. And I think this goes back to my question about not being able to tell authentic stories if we're not being our true authentic selves. Explain why you don't use scripts.
So I'm sorry, it's such a thing that I skated over. So, and I don't even think, and I should tell my team this, I don't think they even truly know the reason why we stopped using scripts. And I didn't intentionally not tell them. So I need to do that. But honestly, deep down, kind of a subconscious thing that I didn't realize what I was doing till later. I didn't want to use scripts because I didn't want to have to read the script out loud to them. Because I didn't want to risk not sounding good or like mixing up words. So about 5 years ago, I'm like, hey guys, we're not going to use scripts. We're going to ask questions. And they're like, what do you mean ask questions? I'm like, oh, just hold on. Just let me. And then it worked like magically in front of me. And the minute I knew it worked, I was filming a franchisee and she used to be homeless. Now she owns 7 locations at Glory Days franchise. She teared up on film because of how much her life have gotten better because of them giving her a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a story. So the ultimate reason why I did it is I just didn't want to stutter and read a script. So I said, let's do questions. And it actually shaped who we are today is we don't use scripts.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that is like, if you boil down to the success that you've had, if I summed it up, one, you had to embrace that part of yourself and let go and just go with your gut, right? Acting bigger. I love that story of you had all, like, I think you said you had an info at filming, you had all these email addresses that just came to you, and all these extensions, these phone extensions that just came straight to you to make it seem like you had a bigger company than you did, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and that it's funny. It was grasshopper.com. We no longer use them because I think we outgrew what they do. But at the front, I got this 888 number that just rang to my cell phone. I got 888-389-film, which is still our number. I paid extra for 3456. I love the film at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 10 extensions. One was customer service, weddings, corporate events, I don't know, editing, whatever, national events. They all rang to me. And one day a lead called me and she goes, wow, do you just man all the phones? I'm like, I do. I just man all the phones. And then once we became big, I no longer had to kind of do that game. But at the front, it's really important that you look bigger than what we are and you scream the biggest brand that you've worked with over and over and over.
Right. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Amen.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's ask one final question. If you had a wish for how you at Franchise Filming could impact franchising through what you're doing with storytelling, or not even a wish, if you have a vision of what that looks like, describe what that is.
What would make me so happy and my team so happy is not if, but when the videos that we are creating are so powerful that these franchise brands can continue to get bigger. They can continue to get out of the hole from COVID. I want our videos to be so impactful to their sales, to their recruitment, that these franchises scale, and they scale so much that they can serve more people. They can help more franchisees. That's really our ultimate goal here, is to create videos that are full of authentic stories and moments that just make prospects take action.
Yeah. And you're already doing it. Actually, I do have one more question.
Yeah.
What barriers in thought processes, right? Why do you think there is a resistance to switching strategies, not even switching strategies, but to moving toward a different strategy like videos? And I asked that question because I am always wondering how we can break down those barriers that keep us from moving forward. So
I think, honestly, franchising, aviation, insurance, they literally will admit they're 10 years behind everybody else. Like, and by the time they realize they're behind, well, now there's something else going on. There's going to be like 3D virtual projector videos in 20 years, right? It's going to be something crazy, like go pop something in and, right? I don't think the resistance is that they've never done it before and they think, why do we need that? Like, why? Like, we don't need that. But the switch that happened, especially 10 years ago, is consumers don't trust brands anymore. And it's just this trickiness. So honestly, the barrier is good, high quality video teams are expensive.
Right.
And they want to take the easy way out and hire their roommate's cousin's friend, and then they wonder why the video is not working, and then they just leave it be.
Mm-hmm.
But if they just take a risk, kind of like what we did going to the IFA, they would see their leads just go through the roof, because there's actually a video of story and emotion that's helping them sell.
Right. Awesome. Thanks for sharing all that with us today. Where can we find you?
Yeah, so our website is pretty easy. How this name wasn't available, I'll never know, but it's FranchiseFilming, FranchiseFilming.com. My direct email is Trevor, Trevor, at FranchiseFilming.com. And find me on LinkedIn. I would love to help you guys and really just give you tips. And one final thing, if I could leave one tip here.
Yep, do it.
Is our sales started to skyrocket when we created video content about the 3 top questions that leads asked every single phone call. So if you ask yourself, what are the 3 to 5 things I get asked each time? And you beat that and you say, hey, by the way, I know you're going to probably ask this. Here's some videos about it. Your sales cycle will just be cut in half, because you're already solving the problem for them.
Yep.
So
all about problem solving. It's not sales, it's problem solving is the cliche, I guess, is what they say. So,
yes,
but it's so true. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Trevor. I really appreciate it. This has been great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Franchise Ticker podcast. You can follow the Franchise Ticker on Instagram and Twitter at the handle @FranchiseTicker. Don't forget to subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like, comment, and share. See you on the next episode.